Sebastian, a week on from Turkey, there's been so much in the media and the papers. Have you been surprised by the way that everything's been perceived between you and Mark and the team?
Well, I think it was good press, you know, like a lot of attention, obviously. So not the best press we ever had, but still, you know, people were talking about us. So that's a good thing, I guess. But surely, you know, in the future, obviously, that's not the way we want to be presented. When we look back at that incident, just describe the whole manoeuvre from your point of view, from going down that straight.
Well, there's not too much to explain. You know, it all happened fairly quick. I got a very good run out of the corner leading on the back straight. I got a big toe, and then obviously it was going on the inside. I have already passed Mark, and then obviously tried to slowly come back to the right. Obviously at that time I was the leading car, so usually the leader then dictates where to go, and all of a sudden, you know, we made contact, and that was, unfortunately, that was the end of the race for me.
We heard in your team radio you being told to use the overtake button on the straight to pass.
That was Mark.
That was Mark.
Yeah.
In your knowledge, had Mark been told to let you through?
No, we never had any information. I think that's, you know, obviously there has been a lot of stuff in the press going round, and also, as you might know, a lot of things that are not true. So obviously we had no contact between the cars. That's impossible, and there was never given any instruction either to Mark or to me. So you know, in the end we ended up racing at the track, and unfortunately it went wrong.
When you got out the car, we saw you doing your crazy sign. Who was that directed to? Was that directed to Mark?
Well, I think it was pretty clear at the time, so I don't think it was a crazy sign. I think it's very common, so I think everyone understood.
And when we spoke to Christian after the event, he seemed to be backing Mark, and then he apparently changed his mind. When I interviewed him, he said that you were in the right. That's led to a lot of people believing that you are favoured in Red Bull. Is that the case?
Well, I don't think, and also what we have been discussing internally, obviously there's no either driver, Mark or myself, being favoured in any way. So you know, we go out and try to find out who is the better one, like it should be. And obviously, you know, you should not forget that you are a team. So whatever happened is obviously not the right thing to happen. But you know, from my point of view, I think there's not much more to add to what I said on Sunday.
So we're talking about favouritism and things. I mean, being favourite within a team isn't necessarily a bad thing, unless of course you're Mark and you're being favoured. You're the favourite.
I think it has been made pretty clear. You know, obviously there was a lot made up by the press, and those sort of stories are much more interesting to read and to listen to, rather than something boring and nice. Everything is shiny. So that's clear, but I think we deal with it quite well, and we know that we've got exactly the same chances. Obviously there's a lot of races to come, a lot of things probably to happen, so we need to see, but surely the most important is that we, you know, keep looking forward.
When I spoke to Lewis Hamilton after the race, he said that situation would never happen between himself and Jenson because they respect each other. Do you respect Mark?
Well, obviously, you know, that's we gave them a very good chance to hammer us, you know, so because obviously whatever we did went wrong, and they had some wheel-to-wheel racing, and I think if you look closely, especially at the final move between those two, you know, you could see that none of those wanted to lose the lead at the time, and it was very, very close. So it was, you know, also you could see some people at the McLaren pit wall then radioing to the car more than before. So you know, it wasn't probably as relaxed as it looked, but it went well. So you know, obviously we come out and look like the losers, and they come out look like the winners, which in fact they were. So not much more to say.
In your week off, you've been to the factory. What was discussed? I know you've seen Mark, but will there be a change of procedure, or is that just an individual case?
Well, I think, you know, as I said, in the end we ended up racing each other on the circuit, it went wrong. I think we've discussed it, but yeah, I mean, you know, it happened, so you have to move on. That's, I think, the key.
Do you as a driver think that people like me and other journalists are making a big deal out of this, or is this just one case, or have a couple of DNFs and things put more pressure on you, more keen to overtake, more keen to win races?
No, I think any racing driver that finds himself in second and thinks he's stronger or faster than the guy in the lead gets the chance. You know, in Formula One, it's not like you get a million chances and eventually you take one. You know, it's probably what you get. So I think I used my chance on that Sunday, and unfortunately, you know, I didn't see the checkered flag either as a winner or second. So obviously lost a lot of points. So you know, it's not a good thing to have a DNF down in the championship, but you know, still a lot of races to come. I think if you look at the scoreboard, obviously with the new point system, it sounds a lot of points you are behind, but you can see how quickly it changes. I think you know, one race made a big difference for Lewis. If you look where he has been before and where he is now, so you know, I think the most important, like in every other championship there has been in the past, is to be in the end the most consistent, and the one with most points wins the championship. So that's clear.
If you were in this situation again as you were in Turkey, would you do anything differently?
Well, you know, it's always the question. You know, you never know what is going to happen. So you do at the time what you think is right, and you know, in that case you would do it again because you thought it was right. So you know, no matter how is the outcome, hopefully it will always be good. That's the target, but you will always learn something, good or bad. So and I think that's the key.
Looking forward to Canada. I'm sure you'll be happy. Do you go there thinking, I just want to get my helmet on, get back in my car, get back in my office and get racing again and put all of this behind you?
Well, I think I already have. You know, obviously you could see, I mean, I wasn't very happy about what happened, but you know, as I said, you have to move on. So I'm looking forward to Canada. And but there's no reason to be desperate and, you know, now we have to prove it or whatsoever. I think we are doing a very good job. Saturdays, Sundays we need to work on it and get the results in, but you know, we have a strong car and we try to achieve our maximum. We know that Canada is probably not the easiest circuit for us, especially the McLarens will be very quick with whatsoever switch they have in the car to make their car go quicker on the straights, you know, so we will fight for sure and try to get, you know, the maximum points.
And if you have another kind of front row qualifying alongside your teammate,
and then
turn one, will you be more cautious? Will Mark be more cautious?
You know, I think the most important that you don't get all this into you and into your head. So you know, you just keep on doing what you were doing before and not trying to be super careful or the other way around, super aggressive. So you know, you just do what you usually do, and of course, you know, racing your teammate should always be something special, and it is never meant to go wrong, because then obviously it will look extremely bad, but in the end, you know, you race whoever is there. So